All right, ladies and gentlemen, Charles Babinski, G&B Coffee.
All right. Are all of you all ready? All right, let's do this. Hi. So the definition of espresso is 30 milliliters of rich, concentrated coffee extracted at high pressure. Now, I personally prefer a different definition of espresso. That espresso is anything lovely that comes out of that machine over there. Now, with the first definition, there's very specific expectations about preparation and specific expectations of flavor. But when you expand the idea of what espresso is, you expand the possibilities of what you can do with great coffee, how you can serve it, who you can serve it to. So today, we're going to start with a traditional extraction. But with each successive course and each successive drink, we're going to extract the coffee differently to space out the flavors in a way that suits the qualities of the drink. There you go. My coffee, it's from Colombia, from a farm called El Descanso in the Huila region. And for our purposes today, here it is. It's blackberry acidity, sugar cane, and honey. And in my first drink, the cappuccino, this is how I'm pulling it, with all of those flavors pushed up against each other. Now this is espresso as I've always known it. It's big, intense flavors bursting out. Are the acidity and sweetness balanced? No, not at all. But that's what the milk's for. And there's a reason that this style of extraction is so popular. It's because it kills it in milk. Now with the Descanso, I'm using 20 grams in and 30 grams out. And in milk, that blackberry becomes raisin, brown sugar, and today, salted caramel. But here, let me show you. All right, guys. So the first two shots I'm pulling are for my SIG drinks. Now, I'm dosing them and tamping them in the same way, but they're two different grinds, so one's going to pull a little bit faster than the other. My first cappuccino. So once again, with the cappuccinos, the El Descanso, I want you to look for raisin, brown sugar, and salted caramel. Alright, there you go. There you go. Enjoy. Alright, as always, the cup on your right is for your spoons. And how are you doing today, Marcus? Yeah? Awesome. And there you go. Awesome. Enjoy. And I'll be right back with yours. Second cappuccino. All right, so in the past year, I opened up a shop in Los Angeles, and the experience has put it into, made it very clear how much a coffee shop runs on selling people milk drinks like lattes, cappuccinos. Now, this isn't a bad thing. If anything, it's a sign of the fact that this is what we do well as an industry. Coffee and milk is what we're great at. And this style of extraction, short, compact, explosive flavor, pairs well with milk, has a lot to do with that. There you go. Thanks, man. Please take the visual evaluation, but hold off on tasting for one moment. There we go. All right, so the Descanso, it's a washed coffee. It's grown at a very high elevation, about 1,800 meters above sea level, and this is certainly on the lighter side roast-wise. Now, all three of these things lend themselves to a bright, clean espresso. And if we extracted this in the same way as we did for the cappuccino for the espresso, with all those flavors pushed up against each other, that blackberry acidity would be muscling everything else out of the way. Now, I love acidity, but how do you promote balance between acidity and sweetness in a coffee that's this clean and bright? Well, for starters, we can let it cool down. That's why we're in no rush to drink these. As they cool, flavors will reveal themselves. And secondly, we can space out the flavors in the Descanso by pulling a longer shot. Here, we're pulling 38 grams out instead of 30. Now, with a longer extraction, that blackberry acidity becomes less the driving force behind flavor and more the structure through which you enjoy everything else. Also, as we move to a longer shot, we're moving further away from that full-bodied idea of an espresso. This is perfectly fine, because a full body wouldn't suit the flavors of the Descanso. Instead, it's clean and silky, a perfect complement to that blackberry, sugarcane, and honey. Stir it up, guys, and enjoy.
When I tell you, bullets don't have
All right. So as we saw with the espresso and the cappuccino, our idea of what espresso is changes to suit the drink. But for my signature beverage, I want to look at two dramatically different approaches to what espresso is and what espresso flavor is. For the first part, we're going to take that idea of spacing out the flavors in the descanso, and we're going to push it to the extreme. With an extraction, that's 70 grams out. Now, 70 grams is about twice as long as a normal espresso. And when you go that long with a descanso, some interesting things happen. That blackberry acidity gets a little bit milder, a little bit minerally, but the blackberry sweetness comes out. And the honey and the sugar cane kind of mellow. And the way you can use the descanso changes as well, because suddenly there's room for other ingredients. Now, this isn't espresso as like some intense, concentrated bulldozer flavor. This is espresso as a canvas, and we need ingredients that suit that canvas. Here, we have an extraction of gesho and honey. Thank you. Now, gesho, it's an African plant, very aromatic. Its quality is similar to a mild root beer. These are all flavors that work on the same bandwidth as that longer extraction of the descanso. And we've sweetened it with some orange blossom honey. Now, orange blossom honey has a sweetness that's clean and clear, just like that sugar cane. And this drink, it's mellow, tea-like, aromatic, so we want a cup that suits those qualities. With these bowls, the wide mouth is great for taking in the aromatics, and the soft ceramic is a complement to the mellower flavors. Now, please, when I hand these off to you, swirl it around and take in the aromatics. And then take one sip just to start getting acquainted to the flavors. All right, there. All right, for the second part of my signature beverage, the exact opposite. This is using espresso flavor as an intense bulldozer. And we're really going to embrace that blackberry acidity by pulling a shot similar to the one that we use for the cappuccino. So 30 grams out. Now, we're embracing that blackberry acidity, but we still need to balance it. So I have pomegranate juice. Now, pomegranate's perfect because the acidity of a pomegranate is very intense, so it's going to help us emphasize that intensity of a more concentrated shot. But at the same time, the acidity of a pomegranate is very simple, so it's not going to get in the way of the more complex blackberry acidity in the descanso. Now, I also have some sparkling water, and I'm serving them in these tall, narrow glasses to give the drink a focused intensity to how the flavors hit the palate. Thank you. All right, now these are two distinct beverages. One is intense, cool, a classic idea of how you use espresso flavor and what espresso is. The other one is aromatic, complex, a little bit mellower. This is espresso flavor as a canvas. Now, they're two distinct approaches, and they're two very different approaches, but they're both the same coffee, and they're both still espresso, and that's the point. It's the fact that anybody who has an expansive view of what great coffee is capable of, they're probably right. Thank you so much, guys, and please enjoy. Time.
Time. Charles Babinski, G&B Coffee. I'm coming, brother.